I don't want to spend the rest of my life in a wheelchair. So to hear everybody not supporting that and saying, no, just give up, you're in a wheelchair.
All that Alex wants is, like me, is a quality of life. And, I don't think any insurance company should be able to take that away.
There's so much more work left to be done.
Your body knows how to walk and it's trying to walk again. It's not giving up. So why should I give up on my body?
At 31, Alex Laurie was living his dream. He was active and adventurous, working as a chopper pilot, flying tourists around the Red Centre.
Once I was in the air, it was the best experience. We got to fly passengers who'd never seen Ayers Rock or the Olgas around, and it definitely wasn't a job at all.
But just months into his dream career, an afternoon joy flight with 3 passengers went horribly wrong.
We took off and literally 30 seconds, if that, into the flight, I noticed an alarm went off to say that we were having a loss of power. The engine RPM was decaying.
Alex's chopper was in what pilots call the death zone. He didn't have enough height to be able to glide down. The chopper crashed into the red earth.
2 of the 4 people who survived a helicopter crash at Uluru have been flown to Adelaide for treatment.
You don't hear too many people surviving from a helicopter crash.
Remarkably, Alex and his passengers all survived. This is Alex and one of his passengers arriving at Adelaide Hospital. Alex was in a critical condition.
I didn't realise the extent of my injuries. I was in quite excruciating pain, but I didn't realise at all, or at any point I didn't think that I was a paraplegic.
They rushed him into surgery to try and relieve the pressure on his spine. His 13th vertebrae was destroyed, the damage already done.
What was it like hearing those words, "You'll never walk again"?
It was devastating. Obviously they're words no one would ever like to hear. I remember saying back to them, no, I will walk again.
Now, 18 months on, Alex is more determined than ever to get up. His house is adorned with motivational boards created by his family.
Does it help seeing, your old work photos and sports photos?
Yeah, it certainly does. Obviously the times where I'm having a bad day, I can wheel out here and I can read a few of these quotes and get up and go, walk on.
And that's exactly what Alex is trying to do with the help of neurophysics, a radical therapy that helps train new neural pathways in the brain to help the legs function.
So this is something Alex definitely shouldn't be able to do.
It's not a new treatment. In 2014, 60 Minutes profiled Paralympian John McLean, who after 25 years in his wheelchair was able to learn to walk again.
And gradually, one step after the other, then things were happening which I couldn't explain.
This is a man who can walk again.
Neurophysics is run by the expert guidance of Ken Ware, who uses controlled resistance training to trigger the body's natural healing process.
And the more they learn to just step out their own way and just let their system do it, the more movement's going to come about.
This is what it's all about. When Alex first started here, he could barely get out of his chair. Now he's moving parts of his body doctors said would never happen.
Now with neurophysics, I can stand up with my calipers on, I can let go and be stood like a normal person.
Despite that improvement from 6 months of treatment, Alex has now hit a roadblock. His work cover insurer Allianz now says the treatment is no longer worth it. At a cost of around $2,000 a fortnight, 2 doctors have very differing views on its effectiveness. One telling the insurer all Alex has learnt to do is manipulate his upper body, while another has recommended the treatment continue until at least the end of the year.
It's heartbreaking. It is devastating. All I want to do is get myself back healthy, back on my feet and back working again and back to a normal life.
Allianz has made a decision that the treatment's not reasonable because they feel that it's effectively too expensive, and unfortunately this decision is motivated by profits.
Morris Blackburn lawyer Alison Barrett says Alex has already seen vast improvements and deserves to be given every opportunity to walk again.
Allianz is prioritising their profits over Alex's desire to walk again and his well-being.
And Neurophysics claims the treatment has been proven to work. 95% of Ken's patients travel here to his Gold Coast clinic from around the world. People like Martin Hibbert, who survived the Manchester Arena bombing.
So I was at the Ariana Grande concert at Manchester Arena with my daughter. Unfortunately, as we were coming out into the foyer, we were 10 metres away from the terrorist when he detonated his bomb.
22 people were tragically killed. Martin and his daughter were the closest survivors to the bomber.
What was it like waking up in hospital, finding out what had happened?
A bit of relief, actually, because I was awake through the whole thing. There was like body parts kind of all around me, and you know, yes, I can't walk, but to be intact and be alive is, you know, a miracle.
Martin was left a paraplegic, but when he heard about Neurophysics in Australia, he knew he had to try it.
Kind of went back a different person, full of confidence and again a determination that, you know, I will walk.
That was last year when Martin came out for 3 weeks and his progress made front page news. Now he's back for an intensive 4-month stint.
Good work, that's it.
You know, if it wasn't working, we wouldn't be doing it.
You will walk again?
Oh yeah, too right.
These 2 men, both with an incredible tale of survival, now spend 4 days a week working here. It's punishing, exhausting, but rewarding. Today, Alex's dad has come to see his improvement.
Does it surprise you that your boy is up like that, or you knew he had this?
I knew he had that ability. I had no doubt.
So how can they turn around to me and say, no, sorry, that's you need to give up and spend the rest of your life in a chair?
After months of legal wrangling, finally a change of heart. After we contacted Allianz, they have now decided to extend Alex's treatment for now.
Allianz will support Mr Laurie's participation in the Neurophysics program until the end of 2019, and we will work with him whilst we facilitate a transition into a long-term sustainable treatment option.
Really am grateful that they have decided to fund it until the end of the year. It is disappointing though that unfortunately it took a current affairs involvement to make this happen. Oh, I just hope that at the end of the year they will continue to fund it, because it is the place that's going to get me back on my feet.
There you go.